This is the Google TV streamer, and it's now been updated with Gemini. You can ask it for a daily news briefing, and it will link relevant YouTube videos. You can ask it for movie recommendations, questions about actors, get sports briefings, ask general knowledge questions, and even adjust your TV settings if you're having trouble hearing or seeing. It actually has a lot of useful features. So I put it head-to-head with Apple TV and the current voice assistant, but I was actually surprised how much this could do. A lot of times the Apple TV with its voice assistant could be on par with Gemini, but there's other places where Gemini is way ahead. So I'm going to break down 10 different ways you can use the voice assistant on both of these devices, and the many times Gemini won out, which, if the rumors are true, Gemini is going to be powering the Apple TV voice assistant pretty soon too. So maybe it's a win-win. First, if you have a Google TV streamer box, and some TCL and smart TVs have been updated with Gemini, here on the homepage you'll see a new Gemini for TV button. When you click in, it tells you a few things it can do, like generate an image, okay, but it can also offer you a news brief, and there's some prompting questions here at the bottom, like where's the movie where a guy enters people's dreams? Well, you can ask Gemini that, and it will tell you. No idea Nicolas Cage was in that movie. You can also customize the voice for Gemini, which is pretty cool.
Be your voice of choice.
Feel free to keep exploring until you find the perfect voice.
Feel free to keep exploring until you find the...
How's this one?
If you're curious about the other voices, maybe this is your style.
Personally, I chose Calathea. But for this first head-to-head, let's see if we could just play a movie in one of the streaming services I already have, like play Greyhound in Apple TV.
Sure, opening Apple TV like before.
And even on the Google TV streaming box, it can jump to that movie in Apple TV because I'm signed in, no problem. I can also say, play Avengers Endgame from Disney+.
There are a few ways you can watch Avengers Endgame. To get started, just pick the app you want to use.
And sometimes it does bring me to this screen rather than playing it automatically, because when it's looking for a library of movies and TV shows you own, you have to go to the YouTube app or YouTube TV and then look at your purchases. But let's try this on Apple TV. Here on Apple TV, Greyhound is an Apple TV property, so let's try play the movie Greyhound. And as expected, it jumps right to it. But let's try something not Apple TV, like play Avengers Endgame, the movie. All right, that time it worked, and because I already own it in my Apple TV library, it was able to jump right to it. What about playing the latest video from a YouTube channel? This is something that I didn't realize that the Apple TV could do just as well as Google. So I could say, play the latest video from Steven Robles' YouTube channel. You can see it loads the YouTube app and jumps right to my latest video, which was on iOS 26.4. There I am. And I don't know why I never tried this, but you can do this on Apple TV too. So here on Apple, play the latest video from Steven Robles' YouTube channel. Well, it played my Getting Started with Mac video. It wasn't the latest, but it can play the latest video posted to a channel. Even like play an episode of Primary Technology on the YouTube channel. And there we go, full episode of Primary Technology, just asking the voice assistant on Apple TV. Now here's where things start to diverge. What about recommendations for movies or TV shows? I can ask Apple TV something like, show me some popular disaster movies. And it'll show me a list of recommendations and I can choose one. But if I ask something more complex like, I really enjoyed the movie Greenland with Gerard Butler, what are some other disaster movies like it? Apple TV shows me exactly two options, Greenland and Greenland 2. Whereas Gemini is much better at parsing out those longer requests, like, I really enjoyed the movie Greenland with Gerard Butler, what are some other disaster movies like it? And here we have some nice recommendations from Gemini. We can scroll through, choose one. So overall, Gemini is going to be better at recommendations and parsing your long requests, putting actors in there, styles of movies, and more. And I can ask it things like, what are some good travel documentary movies? And here we go, a bunch of recommendations with Rotten Tomatoes, the price, and where to stream some of them. By the way, if you're looking to travel, you need some luggage. And that's where today's sponsor can help, Away. This is the Away suitcase I bought almost 10 years ago, and me and this carry-on has traveled the world together. I took all those pictures. And now I have the Away bigger carry-on to go with it. Not only do I love the design and durability of all the Away suitcases, which even after 10 years, mine works perfectly well, 360-degree wheels, I slide my backpack into the handle, and this helps me get around wherever I'm traveling super fast and with confidence. Every Away suitcase goes through a rigorous process of 30+ tests all the things like wheels and zippers, and I love that the new Aways now have an underside grab handle that makes it easier to grab and lift. And inside you have a ton of room to pack. On your left side, you put items like your shoes, belts, toiletry bags. On the right side, you put your soft items like clothes, sweaters, and scarves. And then you use the compression pad and those buckle straps to compress it down. In this little zipper pouch, you can put your phone chargers and other accessories, but I also hide an air tag in there, so I always keep track of my Away. And I love that Away comes with a water-resistant drawstring polyester laundry bag to keep your dirty clothes separate on the journey home. I've used that on every trip, way better than using the plastic bags that tear from the hotel room. And you can keep your belongings safe and secure thanks to the TSA-approved combination lock. I've always been able to pack everything I need and even have room to bring home souvenirs to the family. And Away also has a commuter backpack. I love the colors on this too, durable design, 2 exterior pockets for water bottles, holds up to 48 ounces. 4 exterior pockets for quick access to all your essentials, adjustable extra padded shoulder straps that are really comfortable, and an exterior padded laptop pocket that fits computers up to 16 inches, plus an extra slip pocket for tablets. And it has that trolley sleeve so you can put it on your away suitcase for a smooth ride. So whether you need a new carry-on, larger luggage, or the backpack, you can get 10% off your first order of Away today. Scan this QR code or click the link in my description below for 10% off. And if you travel often, you know you need something dependable with the room for all your stuff, and it helps that it looks really nice too. So scan the QR code, check the link below in the description, and my thanks to Away for sponsoring this video. But let's do one more recommendation comparison. Let me ask it, if I really enjoyed the TV show Silo, what are some other recommendations? Turns out I would like some of those other shows because I've actually seen them and did enjoy them. Same question for Apple TV. I really enjoyed the show Silo. What are some other recommendations like it? This is what I get from the voice assistant on Apple TV. But what if we want to find movies with an actor or even ask questions about the actors in a movie? Well, I can say something like, show me all the movies with Ryan Gosling. And even here on Apple TV, it's going to pull up a bunch. Just saw Project Hail Mary. It was great. And here's a bunch of other Ryan Gosling movies. I can also ask, how old was Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049? Well, that time Siri didn't get it. Let me try one more time. How old was Ryan Gosling when he filmed Blade Runner 2049? Okay, ask it a little differently and it could parse it. That's one of the benefits of Gemini is I don't have to be as precise, but I can ask it, show me all the movies starring Ryan Gosling. Again, a similar lineup, see the Rotten Tomatoes and also where to stream it. I do like that little touch here on Gemini. Then I can ask it, how old was Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049? Again, much more detailed information. I like that I get it right here on the screen with Gemini. Let's try a more obscure search, like what was the movie with this actor about this? What's that heist movie with Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg has starred in a few heist movies.
And I was thinking The Italian Job, and sure enough, it's right there, and Gemini tells me. What were some movies with both Michael Fassbender and Jennifer Lawrence? And I was in fact thinking of X-Men, have all the options here. Let's see if Apple TV can do the same. What's the heist movie with Mark Wahlberg? All right, it actually did give me some options. This is pulling from a web search, unionfilms.org, but it doesn't give me that nice visual of here are the movies, and you can just click one to start watching it. But let's try that more obscure reference. What's a movie that stars both Jennifer Lawrence and Michael Fassbender? Okay, gave me one of the movies, not as useful as the answer I got from Gemini. And these next few use cases, Apple TV just can't do it at all. I'll show you. Can you give me a news briefing for today? And it just gives me movies and TV shows that don't really mean anything. Or I can ask it, who won the last Golden State Warriors game? Well, thanks to Apple Sports, it did get that. But let's see what Gemini has to say. Give me a news briefing for today. This is actually a special feature that Google has said is particularly for Gemini on the TV. It will give you the news for today, the highlighted stories, and it even links relevant YouTube videos underneath, which is pretty cool. So you have the story up top, multiple videos about that story underneath, and you can scroll through left to right, see those top stories, and click one of the videos if you want to start watching it. Pretty cool little feature, and this also works really well with sports. So I can say, give me a breakdown of the latest NBA games. And I actually get a really nice summary here. I actually get winners and losers of several games from yesterday. And let me ask it the same question I asked Apple TV. Who won the last Golden State Warriors game? Really nice layout here, the score, the day of the game, and even the quarter breakdown. I can even click this video above and watch some highlights from the game. That's pretty cool. And I can also ask it, give me a rundown of the Yankee games this week. I have the schedule there, and there's some recommendations for videos underneath from Gemini. Let me see if Apple can do that. Give me a rundown of the Yankees games coming up. Well, just went as far as today. Now, Gemini, you can also ask general knowledge questions. We'll try on Apple TV first. I'll ask, explain to me the structure of a black hole. It does give me a web result on Apple TV, iau.org. Let me try a follow-up. Can you show me videos about this? And it did a search for the word this. Now let's try Gemini. Explain the structure of a black hole.
A black hole has two main parts, the singularity and the event horizon. The singularity is at the center, an infinitely small and dense point where the black hole's mass is concentrated.
That's really cool, and it automatically recommended videos about this underneath on YouTube, and I can click one and immediately start watching it. Now, in Google's press release that came out yesterday, as far as when I'm recording, talks about 3 new features coming to Gemini on the TV, one of them being deep dives, basically learning even more right here in the Gemini interface without watching a video. I've not been able to get this to appear yet, but it does talk about the sports briefs, overviews from different leagues, and those richer visuals that we saw a moment ago. I'll try the deep dive one more time. This is specifically about what are the effects of cold plunging. That's the example they show. What are the effects of cold plunging? So we have the explanation, we have recommended videos, but I can't go down any further to do that deep dive that they show in their press release. We'll see if this is an update coming soon. Did I mention get subscribed, hit the like button? But still pretty cool just to get a little summary and some recommended videos. Now, one of the cool things I saw at CES was actually with the Amazon Fire TV, and using Amazon's voice assistant, you can ask it for things like, show me the scene from Lord of the Rings where Gandalf says, "You shall not pass." And it jumps right to that part in the movie. Doing that both on Google TV and Apple doesn't really work as well. Show me the clip from Lord of the Rings where Gandalf says, "You shall not pass." And rather than jumping to the movie, which I already own in the Apple TV app, this shows me some YouTube video recommendations of that clip. Not terrible, but I would love for it to actually jump to the full movie. Maybe I need to have it bought in Google Movies or YouTube rather than Apple TV, but that was a cool feature on Amazon. Let's give Apple TV a shot. Play the moment in Lord of the Rings where Gandalf says, "You shall not pass." And we got a Blues Big Play, the stage show. Not what we were looking for. Now, last couple, Apple TV can do something like turn on captions and rewind a few minutes if you miss something that was said during the movie. So if you're watching a movie like this, you can invoke the voice assistant and say, "What did they just say?" And it will literally rewind a few seconds and actually turn on captions temporarily if you had them off previously, and you'll be able to see what people said. Oh, just got a little recommendation there that we'll see more from Apple TV because we've been using the app. That's pretty interesting. But if we were playing the same movie here on a Google TV, I could say something like, "It's hard to see what's going on." Well, that time it just went to recommendations. But you should be able to adjust the volume or brightness just by asking the voice assistant, like, "It's hard to hear what they're saying." And Gemini should even be able to raise the volume for you. And finally, the more you use Google TV, the more it can actually customize your recommendations. So now I can just ask it, "Can you recommend some movies for me?"
Sure, I can recommend some movies. For recent action and sci-fi, consider Roadhouse 2024, Uncharted 2022, and Morbius.
And for recommendations, it starts with action and sci-fi, which is pretty safe bet. I do enjoy those movies. I did see Morbius, pretty meh. But having an LLM built into your TV and being able to recommend things or help you search, pretty nice to have. Now, is Gemini enough to make me switch from Apple TV? Probably not. Plus, I did notice that Google TV has sponsored spots or ads right there on the home screen. I don't know about that. Not crazy about it. Technically, one can make an argument Apple TV is also doing ads. It's just for its own content on Apple TV's network. But you would still be giving up things like AirPlay, although you can Chromecast to the Google TV, but also ease of connecting things like AirPods. So there's a bunch of aspects to the ecosystem. But the best part is Apple has signed a deal with Google, and Gemini should be powering Apple Intelligence and a lot of the voice assistant features coming very soon on all your Apple devices. So I'm looking forward to that, having more LLM flexibility in my requests. I don't really use the voice assistant on Apple TV very often, but maybe with an LLM built in, I would use it a little more. But let me know, do you use the voice assistant on your Apple TV often? Or if you use Google TV, do you find the new Gemini features useful? Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, but let me know down in the comments. And also put a video all on Apple TV and some hidden tips and tricks you might not know yet. That video's right up here. And if you're into automation, I do a ton of shortcuts videos here on the channel. I have one coming up very soon, like this weekend probably. But I'll put my last shortcuts video up here. And you can also join my shortcuts community where I do weekly live streams just for members. I have my shortcuts database there. I share shortcuts of the week. And you can get all of my videos, like this one, ad-free as part of your membership. So no sponsored spots, no YouTube ads. You can get it totally ad-free in my membership. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.